30 feet down off the coast of South Africa, a great white shark is being turned upside down, and in that moment, something deeply unsettling is happening beneath the surface. This is the most feared fish in the ocean, the creature that has fueled countless nightmares. Yet right now it is completely still, suspended in a silence that feels unnatural. It is not fighting back, not resisting, not even attempting escape, because it cannot. Two killer whales have already taken control, rolling it onto its back with deliberate precision. And then, with chilling efficiency, they slide out its liver before gliding away as if nothing significant has occurred. The rest of the shark is abandoned, left to drift downward into the darkness below. Almost every hunter in the ocean carries a weakness, and almost every prey species evolves a defense in response. Sharks develop rows of teeth, so prey adapts by growing armor. Giant whales rely on immense size, so attackers evolve strategies that depend on numbers. Fast fish survive with speed, so predators respond by building ambush tactics. For every weapon the sea invents, it gradually shapes a shield to counter it, a constant silent arms race unfolding over millions of years, except against one animal, where this balance seems to collapse. Against orcas, nothing appears to work. Not size, not armor, not speed, and not even being an apex predator yourself offers protection. That is because orcas do not rely on a single physical weapon. Instead, they possess something far more dangerous than teeth or raw muscle. They use a different method for every kind of prey, a method that is not random but carefully developed, practiced, and passed down through generations like a family recipe. It is best understood as an inherited kill, a system of knowledge rather than instinct alone. So the question becomes, how does a pod dismantle what is considered the ocean's perfect killing machine? To answer that, it helps to first understand what an orca actually is. Despite its common name, the killer whale is not a whale at all, but a dolphin, and in fact the largest dolphin on Earth. A fully grown male can stretch beyond 30 feet in length and weigh up to 22,000 pounds, an enormous presence in the water. Imagine something as long as a school bus and heavier than 3 large trucks moving with such ease that it appears weightless, gliding through the ocean as if untouched by gravity. These animals are not limited to one region either. They exist everywhere, from the icy waters of the poles to the warm currents near the equator, inhabiting every ocean on the planet. After humans, they are among the most widely distributed mammals on Earth. We often call them apex predators, but even that term feels insufficient. Most apex predators dominate a single food chain, yet orcas sit at the top of many. They hunt fish, seals, sea lions, rays, seabirds, sharks, and even the largest animals ever to exist. Nothing in the ocean hunts them, and nothing even attempts to challenge them. However, their dominance is not simply a matter of size. Because many large animals exist, the real secret lies elsewhere. An orca does not attack the same way twice. It studies each type of prey, builds a specialized method tailored precisely to that target, and then teaches that method within its family group. The weapon is not physical but intellectual, a body of knowledge passed from one generation to the next. This knowledge runs so deep that it is beginning to divide them into distinct forms. Orcas are now recognized in groups known as ecotypes. Resident orcas primarily eat fish and rarely target mammals. Transient orcas, also called Biggs orcas, focus on seals and other warm-blooded prey. Offshore orcas roam far from land in open waters. They may look nearly identical, yet they differ in diet, communication, and even genetics. In 2024, scientists formally proposed that resident and Biggs orcas have become separate animals, and leading marine mammal authorities recognize them as distinct subspecies. They share the same shape but live entirely different lives, diverging not because of physical barriers but because of cultural differences. Off the southern tip of South Africa, 2 male orcas known as port and starboard, named for the direction their dorsal fins lean, have demonstrated just how powerful this learned behavior can be. Since around 2015, this pair has been systematically hunting great white sharks with remarkable precision. Their method begins with a biological weakness. When a shark is flipped onto its back, it enters a trance-like state known as tonic immobility, a temporary paralysis. The shark stops moving, unable to correct its position, remaining conscious yet frozen in place. Orcas have learned to trigger this state intentionally, turning one of the ocean's most feared predators into something completely defenseless within moments. They ram, tail slap, and keep striking until they can flip the shark over and pin it upside down. Then, once the shark is locked inside that strange trance, the orcas remove one organ only, the liver. After that, they abandon the rest of the body and let it drift away. On a single day near Pearly Beach, this pair left 19 7-gill sharks washed ashore, every one of them torn open in the same place, every one missing its liver. Then, in 2024, for the first time ever, a single orca was filmed killing a full-grown great white entirely alone in under 2 minutes. One animal, 2 minutes. The ocean's perfect predator, gone. So why the liver? Because a great white's liver is one of the richest meals in the sea. It can make up nearly 28% of the shark's total body weight, and around 90% of it is pure oil. The energy stored inside one large liver is staggering, roughly 2 million calories. In human terms, that is about the same as 9,300 Snickers bars. The orcas are not acting cruelly. They are cracking open the ocean's largest battery and leaving the wrapper behind. And as brutal as flipping a shark may seem, that is only the bluntest tool in their kit. Some prey, after all, does not even live in the water beside them. In the freezing waters around Antarctica, a seal hauls itself onto a floating sheet of ice and believes it is safe. Out there, it is out of reach. No predator can climb up after it. Except orcas do not climb. They redesign the ocean around the target. It is a multi-step plan. First, scouts rise straight up from the water in a move called spy hopping, scanning across the ice to find the seal. When one spots it, it calls the family over. If the ice is too large for one wave to handle, the pod breaks it into smaller pieces, then carefully nudges the right slab away from the others and into open water, where the seal has nowhere left to run. And even at the very end, to avoid getting bitten or scratched, they blow thick curtains of bubbles to confuse the seal before they close in. What makes this almost unbelievable is that only about 100 orcas in the entire world are known to hunt this way. They are not born with it. The oldest female teaches the technique, and it passes down through generations. For years, no one saw the whole thing clearly. Then a film crew sent a small drone overhead for Frozen Planet, and from above, the choreography looked even more deliberate than anyone had imagined. Now imagine that same intelligence aimed at the single largest animal ever to live. The blue whale is not just big, it is the biggest animal that has ever lived on Earth, larger than any dinosaur and weighing as much as 33 elephants. For a long time, scientists assumed it was simply too enormous for anything to hunt. Then, in late March 2019, off Bremer Bay in Western Australia, researchers watched the impossible happen. A pod of killer whales took down a full-grown adult blue whale. Around 12 to 14 orcas were already on it when the team arrived. Within weeks, the same animals killed a blue whale calf, and another calf kill followed in 2021. They cannot bite through something that size, so they suffocate it. The pod forces the whale down and presses against its blowhole, holding it underwater until it cannot breathe. They drown the largest creature on the planet, and the biggest hunts can involve 50, 60, or even more orcas working together. The most astonishing part is what they do before the hunt begins. One animal will deliberately stop swimming and play the role of the prey while the others practice pushing it down and sealing off its blowhole. They rehearse on one another before they ever try it for real. That takes planning, trust, and a way of communicating complex ideas that we are only beginning to understand. Maybe that is also why we are seeing this more clearly now. last century. Whaling stripped roughly 3 million whales from the oceans, including as many as 90% of all blue whales. The lead scientist on that study, Robert Pittman, put it simply. He called it the biggest predation event on the planet, something we have not seen since the dinosaurs were here, and probably not even then. Crushing power can take down a giant, but perhaps the cleverest hunt of all is the one aimed at something tiny and almost countless. Every winter, vast schools of herring gather in the cold water, part of one of the largest fish migrations on the entire planet. Billions of fish move like a single restless shadow. You cannot chase that, so the orcas do something smarter. They farm it. A pod surrounds a school and begins to squeeze it. They blow walls of bubbles. They flash their bright white bellies, and they slap the surface until the fish bunch together tight. Slowly, they herd the panicking fish into a tighter and tighter ball, compressing the mass as it rises toward the surface, where escape becomes impossible. Scientists call this behavior carousel feeding, and when you watch it unfold, the description feels almost poetic because one researcher compared it to a ballet. Every animal plays a role, every movement is precisely timed, and the entire pod must stay in constant communication, adjusting in real time and deciding what happens next. Then comes the strike. An orca pivots and lashes its powerful tail directly into the clustered fish. One well-placed slap can stun or kill between 10 and 15 herring at once, leaving them disoriented so the orca can consume them individually with ease. And the system is balanced. Some members of the pod maintain the herd, while others feed, and then they switch roles, ensuring that each individual gets access to the meal. What stands out is how localized this behavior is. Carousel feeding has mainly been observed in a specific Norwegian orca population and in a few dolphin species, but not across all orcas. It is not a universal instinct. It is a learned tradition, belonging to a particular culture in a specific region of the ocean. They transform the chaos of billions of fish into a single organized, spinning sphere, a display of coordination on the scale of an entire moving city. Liver, wave, drowning, ballet. 4 completely different challenges, and 4 entirely different solutions. That raises a deeper question. What kind of mind is capable of all this? To locate prey in the dark, freezing depths, an orca does not rely on sight. It relies on sound. It emits rapid bursts of clicks, focuses them through a fatty structure in its forehead, known as the melon, and listens carefully for the returning echoes. This is not simple detection. The sound waves bounce off the gas-filled swim bladders inside fish, and from those echoes, the orca can identify prey from more than 300 feet away, even in complete darkness. It can distinguish between different species of salmon purely from the subtle differences in the returning sound. As the chase reaches its final stage, the clicking accelerates into a rapid buzz, and the orca adjusts the intensity depending on distance, functioning almost like a built-in zoom system. It is, in a literal sense, seeing with sound. The organ behind this capability is extraordinary. The orca possesses the second largest brain on Earth, surpassed only by the sperm whale. It weighs roughly 12 to 15 pounds, heavier than a bowling ball. But size alone is not the most remarkable feature. The orca brain is the most folded and complex of any living animal, even more so than the human brain. These folds are concentrated in areas associated with emotion, social interaction, and self-awareness. They also contain specialized spindle neurons, which are linked to empathy and intuitive thinking, and orcas have them in greater proportions than humans. One detail is particularly striking. Scientists often evaluate intelligence using a ratio that compares brain size to body size. The orca scores around 2.57, placing it among the highest of any animal. The sperm whale, despite having the largest brain ever recorded, scores only about 0.58. The largest brain does not necessarily equate to the highest intelligence. The sperm whale may have the bigger storage capacity, but the orca operates with a faster, more efficient processor. A mind like this does more than hunt. It constructs models of the environment, anticipates outcomes, and solves problems it has never encountered before. To an orca, a swimmer, an unfamiliar fish, or even a passing boat is not just an object. It is a problem to be understood. Humans spend their lives studying these animals, but it is worth considering whether they have been studying us as well. In the shallow waters of Patagonia, at a location known as Punta Norte, orcas perform a behavior that appears almost suicidal. They launch their entire bodies out of the water and onto the shore, sliding across the sand to capture young sea lions. Then they twist and struggle to return to the water before becoming stranded. A single miscalculation can leave them beached and lead to death. It is one of the most dangerous strategies they use, and only about 13 individuals in this population have truly mastered it. Learning it takes years of effort. And here lies the crucial detail. This behavior is taught. Older orcas introduce the method to younger members, and calves spend years practicing. They repeatedly throw themselves onto shallow sand without attempting to catch prey, refining their timing and control. Sometimes, adults even toss pieces of seaweed for them to chase, turning practice into a form of training. The young rehearse the most dangerous skill in the ocean under careful supervision long before survival depends on it. Each pod has its own dialect, its own distinct calls, and its own specialized hunting methods, all of which are taught by the older females and passed carefully from one generation to the next. The most dangerous thing about an orca is not something you can see in its body. It is not its teeth, not its size, and not its strength. It exists in its memory. It is a growing body of knowledge, something no armor, no defensive adaptation, and no burst of speed can ever fully protect against. It is what can be called the inherited kill, and it runs deeper than we ever imagined. Long before the Spanish sailors who first witnessed these animals tearing into whales, this knowledge was already being shared, passed from pod to pod and from mother to calf. Those sailors gave them a name, asesinas de balenas, meaning whale killers, and over time that phrase was reversed into the name we use today, killer whale. Even their scientific name carries a similar weight, or sinus, meaning belonging to the kingdom of the dead. In recent years, something unusual has been unfolding near the Strait of Gibraltar. Since 2020, sailors traveling through those waters have reported strange encounters with orcas approaching their boats, pushing against them, biting into them, and even snapping off their rudders. More than 500 of these incidents have been recorded, and they have been traced back to a surprisingly small group of around 15 individual whales. At least 7 boats have been sunk as a result. Many scientists believe this behavior is not aggression in the traditional sense, but something closer to play. Young orcas appear to treat the rudder of a boat like a toy, experimenting with it, learning from each other, and spreading the behavior through the group simply for the enjoyment of it. There is precedent for this kind of behavior. In 1987, a group of orcas suddenly began carrying dead salmon on their heads like hats. For a period of time, the behavior spread through the population, and then just as quickly, it disappeared. There are other possible explanations for the boat interactions as well. It may be that the rudder resembles the tail of prey, triggering a hunting response, or perhaps it is a reaction to the noise or disturbance caused by boat propellers. The truth is that we do not fully understand it yet. What we may be witnessing is the formation of a new cultural behavior in real time. This becomes even more striking when you consider that the Iberian orcas involved are critically endangered, with only a few dozen individuals remaining. The newest and most unusual trend in their behavior is emerging within one of the rarest orca populations on Earth. It is difficult to sit with what comes next, because the same intelligence that can create play is also capable of experiencing profound loss. Orcas are among the very few animals, alongside humans and a small number of other whales, that go through menopause. A female can live for decades after she stops giving birth. Scientists believe there is a reason for this. During difficult periods, when food such as salmon becomes scarce, the older females guide their families to resources using knowledge stored in their memory. knowledge that younger individuals have not yet had time to develop. Research has shown that when a grandmother is present, the survival chances of her grandchildren increase significantly. She becomes a living archive of experience, and her presence is vital to the group. This same depth of awareness is what makes their grief so powerful and difficult to witness. In 2018, a southern resident orca known as Tahlequah gave birth to a calf that survived only a few hours. For the next 17 days, she carried the body of her calf on her head, pushing it through the water for over 1,000 miles, refusing to let it sink. Other members of her pod helped support the body when she became too exhausted to continue. This behavior served no survival purpose. It was simply a mother unwilling to let go. Then, in the winter of 2024, she lost another calf. And once again, the world watched her repeat the same act. We have already seen the gentler side of this intelligence. During hunts on ice, the leading female has been observed holding her pod back from attacking too quickly, protecting them from injury caused by sharp edges. The same mind that can design a precise and effective kill is also capable of protecting its own. But there is a darker reflection of that intelligence as well. In 2016, near Vancouver Island, scientists recorded the first known case of orca infanticide. An adult male, working together with his own mother, drowned a newborn calf belonging to another female. They took turns holding it underwater for several hours, likely to bring the mother back into a reproductive state so the male could mate with her. The same matriarchal intelligence that guides a family to food can also be used in ways that are calculated and cold. Intelligence alone does not equal kindness. The same mind that can experience grief is also capable of causing harm. This leads to an even deeper question, one that is difficult to answer. Do they understand themselves? In mirror tests, orcas have been observed examining their reflections in ways that suggest self-recognition. Their close relatives, the bottlenose dolphins, have clearly passed these tests, which strongly suggest that orcas possess a similar awareness. When an orca looks into a reflective surface, it is possible that it recognizes the image as itself. A mind capable of planning, teaching, grieving, and self-recognition forces us to reconsider what we are looking at. We call them killers, but the closer we examine them, the more we discover a creature that learns, that teaches its young, that mourns its dead, that creates new behaviors simply for enjoyment, and that may even possess an awareness of its own existence. It becomes increasingly difficult to maintain the belief that humans are the only thinking beings in the ocean. So the question remains, which part changes your perspective more? The precision of orcas dismantling a great white shark for its liver, or the image of a grandmother guiding her starving family through darkness to find food? Share your thoughts. And if you have ever seen orcas in the wild, share where, because those experiences matter. And there is one final detail that makes all of this even more intriguing. There is one animal in the ocean that even orcas avoid. A creature so formidable that these apex hunters choose not to engage. Next time, the focus turns to understanding why an entire pod will back away from a sperm whale.